Welcome to Shadow Tales, where nightmares come to life. Tonight, we walk hallowed ground, a place steeped in history and sorrow, a landscape forever marked by the echoes of battle. We journey to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, the site of one of the most pivotal battles in American history, where the spirits of fallen soldiers are said to linger, their stories whispered on the wind. Have you ever felt a sudden chill, a sense of being watched, in a place filled with history? A place where the weight of the past presses down on you, where the air feels thick with untold stories. That feeling, that prickling unease, often serves as a whisper from the past, a story waiting to be told. Tonight, we share 3 real ghost stories from the Gettysburg battlefield, accounts from those who encountered more than just historical markers and grassy fields. They face the lingering echoes of a battle that continues to haunt the land, the spirits of those who fought and died here. Are you brave enough to face the ghosts of Gettysburg? Our first story is called The Phantom Drummer Boy, so grab your blanket and hold tight. The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the vast expanse of the Gettysburg battlefield. A couple, Sarah and Mark, avid history buffs on a weekend getaway, strolled along Cemetery Ridge, site of the Union's desperate last stand. The air was still, heavy with the weight of history, broken only by the distant chirping of crickets and the rustling of leaves. "It's so peaceful here now," Sarah remarked. "It's hard to imagine the carnage that took place on this ground." Mark nodded. Thousands of men fighting and dying for what they believed in. "It's almost palpable, isn't it?" As they walked, a faint, rhythmic drumming echoed through the air, a distant sound that seemed to emanate from the earth itself. The steady beat, a military cadence, grew louder with each passing moment. Sarah and Mark exchanged puzzled glances. "Do you hear that?" Sarah whispered. "The drumming." Mark replied, "I hear it, but there's no one there." They followed the sound, their hearts pounding, the drumming growing closer as if a phantom drummer boy was marching towards them. The sound led them to a copse of trees known as the Devil's Den, a site of fierce fighting during the battle. The drumming was deafening now, echoing off the rocks and trees. But the area was deserted, just the trees and the oppressive silence. They fumbled for their phone, activating the voice recorder, desperate to capture the unsettling sound. But as they hit record, the drumming ceased abruptly. Later, playing back the recording, their blood ran cold. Only the rustling of leaves filled the audio, the absence of the drumming chilling them to the core. Shaken, they left Gettysburg, the phantom drumming echoing in their memories. The sound of phantom drums, a rhythmic beat echoing through a historic battlefield, can transport you back in time. But what if it's a message, a warning, from those who fell on that hallowed ground? Have you ever felt a cold spot, a sudden drop in temperature, in a place without explanation? That feeling is often associated with the presence of something or someone unseen. If you've stayed tuned this far, our next story will make you want to leave. It is called The Ghostly Apparition. Let's begin. Under the cloak of a moonless night, a team of paranormal investigators armed with EMF meters and thermal cameras set up near Little Round Top, a hill that witnessed intense fighting during the battle. The air was thick with anticipation, the silence broken only by whispers and the crackle of their equipment. Remember, their leader John instructed, "We're here to document, not to provoke. Respect the spirits, and they'll respect you." As darkness enveloped the battlefield, they began their investigation, heightened by the knowledge that they were surrounded by spirits. The wind rustled through the trees, carrying whispers of history. As they walked along Little Round Top, their EMF meters spiked, indicating a surge of energy, a sign of paranormal activity. John's voice crackled. "Everyone, focus your attention near the trees." Their thermal cameras picked up a heat signature, a human-shaped form near a cluster of trees, a figure not visible to the naked eye. "There," whispered Emily, pointing to the thermal image. "Do you see it?" They raised their cameras, their hearts pounding in anticipation. As they watched, a ghostly apparition materialized, a figure in a tattered Union uniform, its face pale and gaunt. The figure stood motionless for a moment, its presence radiating an unnatural stillness. "My God," John whispered, "it's a soldier." The apparition raised its arm, pointing towards the distant fields. Then, as quickly as it appeared, it vanished. Later, huddled around a laptop, they reviewed the footage, their disbelief turning to awe as they watched the soldier's spectral form flickering in the darkness, a testament to those who fought here. The sight of a ghostly apparition, a figure from the past materializing before you, can challenge your perception of reality. But what if these apparitions are trying to communicate, to share their stories? Have you ever felt a wave of sadness, overwhelming grief, in a place you've never been? That feeling could be a lingering echo of past tragedies. Well done for watching. The final scar for tonight is called The Weeping Soldier. Here we go. A lone photographer, David, known for his haunting images, arrived at Gettysburg just as the sun dipped below the horizon. Drawn to the battlefield's beauty, he planned to capture its ethereal atmosphere under the moonlight. Armed with a tripod and flashlight, he set up near the wheat field, a site that witnessed brutal fighting. The air was still, broken only by distant owl hoots and rustling grass. As he adjusted his camera, he heard it faint sobbing, echoing through the night air. The sound was mournful, the sound of a man in deep despair. He scanned the area with his flashlight, but there was no one there. The sobbing grew louder, as if a grieving soldier was beside him. He raised his camera, finger hovering over the shutter button. As he clicked the shutter, capturing a long exposure image, the sobbing stopped abruptly. Later, back in his hotel room, he downloaded the images. His blood ran cold. One image sent shivers down his spine. A translucent figure stood in the wheat field, its head bowed in sorrow. David never returned to Gettysburg. The image of the weeping soldier seared into his memory, a chilling reminder of the sorrow that lingers on the battlefield. The sound of weeping, the cries of a soldier lost in grief, can pierce the darkness, a chilling reminder of the human cost of war. In the quiet solitude of Gettysburg, the echoes of that sorrow can be deafening. If you dared to face the ghosts of Gettysburg with us tonight, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Shadow Tales for more chilling encounters. Click the notification bell so you don't miss our next descent into darkness. Thank you for joining us on Shadow Tales, where nightmares come to life.